Obero. Level 60. Search for the stolen scroll. Obero has the look of a man who has seen better days. Obero. Oh, alas and alack. Whatever am I to do? Oh, Zilly, as a shinobi, I am loath to admit this, but I did not see you come in. Truth be told, I have been somewhat distracted of late. Princess Yuki, it would seem, sent a letter to my village praising us for our efforts on her behalf, thus revealing my story of an injury preventing me from making the journey home for the ruse that it was. But my shame is not that I have been summoned back to the village, but rather quite the opposite. Despite knowing that I am hale and hearty, my elders seem to be in no particular hurry to welcome me back into the fold. Should the time come when we have need for you in Doma, we shall summon for you. Until then, you are to remain at your post and do all your power to aid our countrymen in Eorzea. Such were their words. Is this how far I have fallen? Am I as a falcon bereft of its claws, a dull blade tossed to the wayside by its master? For all I know, I have been all but exiled to this place. I am sorry, heaven knows that you did not come here to listen to my griping. On a brighter note, I just received word from Captain Jack. It would seem some Easterners are causing something of a stir. I suppose I should be grateful that someone still has need of my services. Anyhow, it would seem the kami have led you here at the most opportune time. Would you care to accompany me? The Rogues Guild. We haven't been there in a while. Hey, thank you, my friend. Let us make for Limsa Lamenza and see what our friends at the Rogues Guild would ask of us. Captain Jack. So onward. You looking ahead inside into the Rogues Guild, yes. Certainly haven't been here in a while. Well, if it ain't the dimberest damber of 'em all, I trust you've been keeping your stabbers sharpened. Well, with you and Obero on the job, I reckon I'll be Bob before the lightman's comes round. Here's where we stand. One of me little birds in the Kraken's arms came chirping to me a story about some domans who I reckon are breaking one code or another. Seems they, the Krakens that is, were out snilching the eastern seas when they grabbed a vessel flying Garlean colors as they're wont to do. But then came the rub. The crew claimed to be Doman, you see, and upon whittling their captor's identity, they changed tack, begging for asylum on Eorzean shores and offering the entirety of their cargo in full in return for safe passage. Call him a bean cove or a fool, the Kraken captain took the self-styled Domans up on their offer, stowing the eastern treasures and the Easterners themselves away in the hold. They set sail for Limsa. After pulling into port, a funny thing happened. No sooner had the Krakens dropped anchor than the refugees put on their best beater cases and skulked off into the dead of Darklands, leaving all their treasures behind. All their treasures save one, a scroll of sorts that had been hiding in a corner, all inconspicuous like. Carvalin reckons that these Doman refugees have played us for some rum fun, and they're off selling the scroll on the black markets for a good blunt even as we speak. I see, so you would have us recover the scroll in question and bring the thieving Domans to justice. I am honored to lend what aid I can, and yet I cannot help but wonder just what could it be about this scroll to make it so valuable to my countrymen. And we're not going to whittle the scrap just sitting around here on our dawdles, now are we? Let's snilch town and see what the common coves and morts have and haven't seen. Why don't you go pay Joltowan a visit at the winch? If there's any rumors going around about any shifty Easterners, like as not, that Mort would know. You do remember what to order, aye? Of course a dimber damber like yourself would. Good luck out there and keep your wattles open. We'll be waiting for you in Bulwark Hall when you're through. No, half of that's not even words. So I guess we're going to the winch. Down in winch. Well, I would normally have my pirate gear on, but we're just gonna get through this. I got all level 70 stuff for my ninja, so we're good. Welcome to the Drowning Wench. What's your pleasure, miss? I don't remember what it's supposed to be, so we're just gonna click one and hope for the best. Certainly, miss. Take a seat and I'll bring it straight to your... changed your mind? A weak ale. Try a weak ale. Sure, everybody orders a strong ale. Ah, you must be here on business. Perhaps I could offer you something from our underground menu? Now, what's your fancy? Guest from the east, you say? Why, yes, I do believe we had some visitors not long ago matching that description. They left shortly before you arrived. I make a habit of pricking my ears up to catch our patrons' every whisper, but the party in question required little such effort. Why, they were shouting of tales of riches and glory in a roar that could wake the dead. Said they were on their way to Wineport to make the transaction of a lifetime. Though they weren't keen on going into detail just between us, I wouldn't be surprised if there was something less than savory about their business. Speaking of savory, can I interest you in our seafood stew? Bulwark Hall. Off to Jack. So our lads are headed to Wineport, eh? Gonna work. Dilly, remind me to slip Voltuan on some extra blunt next time we stop by the winch for libations. Ed said something doesn't sit right with me. Cackling their plans for every drunkard and tavern wench to hear. I reckon our friends might be looking to amuse us. If you whittle my gist, keep your eyes open and your stabbers sharp, mates. The Wineport. Well, there's a bleeding surprise. The code-breaking curs have already bit the blow and hopped the twig, with a caravan's worth of bingo in tow. Word is they were last seen beating a path for Bloodshore. What could they mean to wait a bleeding moment? What if the grog's not meant for selling, but keeping their throats wet on a long voyage? Reckon our lads are trying to smuggle the scroll home. No time to lose. Let's brush off our beater cases and make for Bloodshore all quick like. Over on an Isle Snilch to the north side. You take the south. We have to catch these curs before they slip from our daddles for good. I'm curious if the writers enjoy writing that, or if they just are like... They kind of go nuts with it. There's pirate talk and there's whatever the hell that was. He's just giving blunts to everybody though, right? I'd like to do that fade at some point. You need like a party for it. Hey, you just had to poke your nose in our business, eh? Guess you'll leave us no choice. Okay, well, I guess that's it. Murder time. I mean, it wasn't very ninja-like to go and announce myself. Let me guess, you came upon a couple of rough-looking coves. These coves came waving their stabbers in my face before I could edge in a word. I reckon 'twas the same for you. The scroll is nowhere to be seen, nor is anything resembling a ship. If I did not know better, I would say they were a simple group of ruffians enjoying their ill-gotten grog. The dim one sees, but does he truly see? No, these unfortunate men were but pawns in a grand scheme, as disposable as the bottles that now litter the shore. Like that look. Meanwhile, your true quarry has boarded a trade and sails for Kugane even as we speak, under auspices of the East Aldenar Trading Company, no less. So cunning a scheme, I wish I'd thought of it myself, or did I? Ah ha ha ha. How do you know all? Bugger me, you're the cove from the House of Sticks. That's the merchant, right? Yeah, we go, like, he's like the black marketer or whatever. Oh no, it's the ninja guy. Karasu Redbeak. Childhood friends turned bitter enemies, then friends once more, reunited after far too long. Our hero returns, and the audience swoons. Oh, what a joyous day. Or is it? I'll say this much, dim one. For once, you've managed to surprise me. To think that oh-so-serious Oboro would lie to his elders to avoid having to make the journey home, only to find he wasn't welcome to begin with. Oh, the irony of it all. Enough of your preening and prattling, Karasu. I want answers. How did you know we were here? Just what is your connection to the thieves we pursue? Ha ha ha. You mean the thieves who already eluded your clumsy grasp, just as I am about to do. I fear that is a story for another day. Ah, ever the slippery bird, that one. That daft rook's an acquaintance of yours? That news to Jack Swaddles. Meanwhile, we've got our work cut out for us if we still want to grabble that scroll. Is there anywhere we can have a few wids, you know, secret-like? Say no more, Captain Jack. As luck would have it, our base of operations is but a short walk from these parts. Billy, pray join us at the storehouse. Our secret ninja base. Good thing I'm doing this one first. I wouldn't be able to read that stuff at all later. Barely do it now. Welcome back. You may enter. Karasu Redbeak, of all the places I thought our search might lead us, I'd never in my wildest dreams did I think it would lead us to him. Come square with me, Oboro. Just who is this Karasu Cove? Can we trust him, or is he like not to stick us in the stabbers in our back in the moment we turn our blind eye? No, I mean, yes, I mean he's neither or both. Perhaps I should say it's complicated. Judging from your reaction, it sure seems as much. Anyway, if our men have set sail for Hingashi, I reckon we've no choice but to do the same. I wasn't exactly preparing for a long voyage, but damned if I'll leave this job half done. That said, shamed as I am to admit it, this is old Jack's first journey to the Far East. I wouldn't know Kugane from a rum doxy's arse, and I don't know a rogue who can do his work without knowing the lay of the land. Worry not, Captain Jack. I have traveled there on many occasions to procure the tools of my trade from the finest Hingan artisans. It would be my pleasure to serve as your guide. Your presence would be most heartening as well. Zilli. Kugane is a city where anything can happen. There is no telling what dangers await us there. I agree with that, but mind you, Zilli's a right busy mort. Let's say we do it this way. Oboro and I will go on ahead, and we'll send for you once we've snilched out the place and worked out our next plan of action. Reasonable plan, Captain Jack. In that case, Zilli, pray check in at the storehouse from time to time. I will send word to Yomei when we require your services. In the meantime, may the Kami guide you in your training. Complete. The next ninja quest will be available from Yomei upon reaching level 63. Requirements for undertaking subsequent quests can be reviewed in your journal. And level 63, Ninja Bathe and Redux. Yomei has missive from the Far East with your name on it. Ah, Zilly, I have a letter for you from Master Oboro. It would appear that his investigation in Kugane has borne fruit. Here, see for yourself. Dear Zilly, I hope this letter finds you well. After a long and rather uneventful voyage, we have arrived safely in Kugane. Captain Jack seems quite taken with Hingan culture and is enjoying a stroll in the pleasure quarters at this very moment. But forgive me, you are not interested in a diary of our travels. As for the matter of the scroll, rumors abound of a band of Doman scofflaws have been causing a stir in town of late. Putting together the accounts we have heard, the good captain and I are convinced that these are the thieves we seek. If the word about town is to be believed, these individuals are far more dangerous than we had imagined. I trust that you have been pursuing your ninjutsu training with your usual diligence. My apologies, of course you have. In any event, we would have you join us at your earliest convenience. We will be keeping an eye out for your arrival. Seek us in the alley behind the second pier ferry docks. Safe travels, friend. It is good to see Master Oboro in good spirits once more. Ever since the elders commanded him to remain here in Eorzea, he has not quite been himself. After all, a shinobi without a duty to carry out is as a hawk with clipped wings. Good to see Master Oboro soaring high once more. Still, I worry. Though I have great respect for the man, he can often be too trusting for his own good. Pray go to his side, friend, and see that he does not get himself into undue trouble. May the kami carry you safely across the sea. That's money that carries me across the sea. Here too. Oh, here too is the holstery right here. Where's the alleyway? Oh, is it like... Oh, it's right here. Okay. I'm looking for like the pier, and it's actually closer to where I am. Subame. Dilly, I thank you for answering my call. Subame, too, has made the journey from the village to join us in retrieving the scroll. It is an honor to stand by your side again. Master Oboro will doubtless benefit from your presence, as he always does. Likewise, I figured we could use a few more Denver Dambers on the job, so I've sent for Underfoot and the Stray. The ship should be pulling into harbor before long. In the meantime, allow me to share what we have learned. Reliable sources have it that the theft of the scroll is the work of the Garnet League, a notorious band of outlaws feared throughout Doma. When the Doman Rebellion was crushed 1 year ago, many a samurai fled the battlefield to escape the Empire's wrath. Dishonored and unable to return home, most turned to banditry to eke out a living. And the most lethal of these warriors who formed the Garnet League. Cutting down innocent men for their coin purses, plundering villages, the men and women of the Garnet League of the Garnet will gladly stain their hands with blood as long as it means they will live to see the morrow. Why they covet the scrolls so I cannot say. What I do know is that if we do not stop them, they are all but certain to leave a trail of corpses in their wake. We must move in quickly. Fortunately, they should not prove hard to find. Confident in their ability to cut down anyone who dares oppose them, they take little trouble to conceal themselves. On the contrary, they parade their garnet-hued kimono for all to see, and distinguish them from the similarly garbed sekisegami by their lack of a hakama and their singularly uncouth demeanor. Let us split up and cover as much ground as we can. I would entrust the Shiokaze hostelry in the Rakuza district to you. Keep to the shadows and gather what knowledge you can. When we are done with the task, let us reconvene here. Okay, so we just gotta go to both places. I can hide. They're gonna be upstairs, yeah. Slow walking like this. Are they not marked? Okay, they're down further. Must be these guys, huh? These men look to be members of the Garnet League. They seem to be discussing something. One day she has us sneaking into a bleeding Imperial storehouse, and the next the Confederacy's chasing us halfway across the Ruby Sea. Zakuro could pay us twice what she does, and it wouldn't be bloody worth it. Come on, come now. Even if you must admit it was quite the little adventure, though it was fortunate that we came upon those Eorzean pirates when we did, and that they believed our little ruse. In the end, we made it here with a little prize, did we not? We simply took a slight detour. We didn't all make it, and have you forgotten those we left behind at Bloodshore, cut down by our pursuers, no doubt. The poor bastards, whose brilliant idea was it to go along with that masked man's plan anyway. Our brothers could not fend for themselves, they have only themselves to blame. As for the mysterious benefactor, he led us here as promised, did he not? And now we need only wait for our client to show and deliver the goods, and we will never need worry about going hungry again. Speaking of which, just how long does our man mean to keep us waiting? I'm beginning to wonder if someone isn't playing all of us for fools. Now, we were late with our delivery after all. Word has it our client returned to Koshu when we did not show, and it now is making the long journey back to Kugane. We owe him some patience, do we not? Slightly faster if I turn it off to run. Wait, what's further down then? Probably here. These men look to be members of the Garnet League. They seem to be discussing something. I swear, I just wanted to see what all the fuss was about. Barely put a finger on the thing, and next I knew it, Zakuro's blade was at my throat. I thought she was going to cut me down right on the spot. Put yourself in her shoes. They say our client is such a dangerous man, he's been known to kill those who renege on their agreements. If anything happened to the scroll, her life and ours would be as good as forfeit. You saying she's as scared as us? Zakuro Brightblood, who single-handedly cut down 100 Garleans in a day during the rebellion? Zakuro Brightblood, who dyes her hair red with the blood of her foes? She cuts an imposing figure, this is true, but deep down she's actually quite the sensitive type. Sensitive? Don't make me laugh. Okay, well, we found some information. Let's go tell Obaro. Doing job quest, doing job quest. So we can do Eureka. It would seem we have everyone assembled. Excellent. Let us share all we have learned. Allow me to see if I have this right. So, in short, the Garnet League lifted the scroll from the Garlean storehouse at the bidding of an unknown Hingan client. They meant to sail straight from Yangzhou to Kugane, but ran afoul of the Confederacy, doubtless because they were too poor to pay the ruby tithe. In fleeing, they were then captured by the Kraken, so they claimed to be Doman refugees seeking asylum. Upon arriving at Eorzea, they made off with the scroll and eventually found safe passage to Kugane with Karasu's aid. That one's motives remain as inscrutable as ever, but I digress. Furthermore, they are led by one Zakuro Brightblood, about whom no small number of tall tales are told. Regardless of their veracity, there can be no doubting that she is a formidable opponent. For my part, I heard that she is most protective of the scroll and keeps it on her person at all times, night and day. I heard that Zakuro and her followers have rented a room at the Bokairo. An inn in town famous for its hot spring baths. And old Jack managed to whittle is that the cove is right fond of her flowing locks and that she fancies herself a cup of tea, making the trip from the inn to the tea house and back at least thrice a day. That is most enlightening. Captain Jack, now we must find a way to get our hands on the scroll before Zakuro's client arrives, but how? We could challenge her to single combat, but the Seku Segami would not look kindly on that. Besides, we are shinobi, are we not? We must use stealth to our advantage. We simply need a plan. Look out below, Underfoot's on the scene. Good to see you again, Zilly. Can't wait to snilch the new tricks you've learned from your friends here. What's a Mort got to do to get herself some sushi? I'm bloody starved, and what's with all these bleeding seagulls? I swear, if another one takes a shite on my hair, it'll be seagull stew for dinner tonight. Hey, that's it. Kebe, you're a bloody genius, and so am I reckon. Gather round, lend me your waddles, friends. Old Jack's got a plan. First we catch Zakuro as she's beating her way from the end to the tea house. Underfoot, Gab, Tsubame, you three will be in charge of causing a scene and stopping the Mort in her tracks. Meanwhile, Zilla, you make your way to that perch atop the markets and drop some imitation seagull shite down from above. But with her precious locks all mucked up, the Mort's sure to make for the hot springs. She can't very well bring the scroll into the water, so we just follow along all stealthy-like and heave it from whatever basket she stowed it away in. For good measure, Oboro and I'll head to the bathhouse as well and keep the girl occupied until Zilly has the scroll safely in her daddles. Most impressive plan, Captain Jack, but I have one question. How do you propose that the two of us keep Zakuro occupied? Oboro, surely you remember that our visit to Bronze Lake and the little show I put on for our pirate friend? It's all quite simple, really. I'm not certain I understand what you... Oh, on second thought, I am not quite convinced this is the best course of action. Give yourself some more credit, lad. Now, you'll want to climb up to the roof atop Bokairo and then make your way across the wire atop the markets. Here, this white die should do a suitable seagull shite impersonation. Once underfoot and the gang lures Zakuro into position, let her fly. Alright, lads and lasses, look sharp. We'll meet back here once all's bob. All's bob. Where the hell am I supposed to go? I think you do run faster with them drawn. Yeah, I'm missing something. Is this just where they end up? And I've got to climb somewhere. Okay, what do I have to get on top of? I guess I go up there and climb on top of one of these. Probably should have read it instead of just reading it. Is not it? Oh, it's the other one, okay. But it's not exactly clear now, is it? bots again today. Why am I getting so many bots the past few days? You know, you guys aren't seeing them because they're auto mods catching them. Pain, oh, the pain. A poor girl, whatever is the matter? Someone, anyone, find a healer. The girl needs help. What was gah? Bird shite. Oh, bloody brilliant. Thank you, kind sir and madam, but worry not, I am not ill. You see, I simply haven't had a bite to eat all day. Aha, is that all now? Fortunately, the Shiokaze hostelry is but a short walk away, and I hear their sushi is positively to die for, shall we? Terrible actors. My hair, my beautiful hair! Back to the bathhouse, I suppose. You search the basket, but to no avail. The scroll must be around here somewhere. He's having a good time. You search the basket, but to no avail. The scroll must be around here somewhere. There they are. Search even more baskets for the scroll. Wait for Jack and a Bolro at the rendezvous point. Keeping her busy, at least. So, it's a mixed bath. I mean, it's a spring, right? Oh, is that right? We'll work on the sightseeing. We'll all get some other point. Before Shadowbringers, probably. Well done, my friends. The operation was by any measure a rousing success. That said, I have not seen Tsubame and the others. I do hope all is well. Now that was some rum fun, and if I do say so myself, as for the cove, I wouldn't fret. Like as not, Bekebe and Underfoot dragged her off to yaffle on some of Kugane's finer delicacies. No doubt you are right, Captain Jack. In the meantime, pray show me the scrolls. Illy, I would see just what it is that Sakaru's mysterious employer covets so. Why, this is, are my eyes to be believed, the forbidden mudra of summoning? I had half thought it was just a ghost story meant to strike fear in the hearts of shinobi who would stray from their path. Forbidden summoning? I wouldn't know a mudra from me own grandmum, but that sounds right dangersome. It is indeed, Captain Jack. The legends say that if a summoner's focus wanes for even a moment, the monstrous beast called forth by this Mudra will not hesitate to devour him whole. Many years ago it was gifted from our village to the King of Doma, then sealed away to be used only in the most dire of circumstances. But it was lost in the chaos of the Garlean invasion and never seen again, so it has been sleeping in an Imperial vault for all these years. So even with this bleeding, all-powerful summoning at their fingertips, the Domans still couldn't hold off the Empire? Guess it wasn't all that cracked up to be, huh? On the contrary, we never had the chance to find out. Master Kakai, who led the shinobi, deemed the risk too great and refused to employ it, even as our nation fell. Whether Master Gekai plotted his betrayal even then, or whether he had our countrymen's best interest at heart, I cannot say, but I would like to believe the latter. Nonetheless, it is clear that none in Garlemald knew of the scroll's true power, and so it sat untouched until it was stolen by the Garnet League at the bidding of some unknown master. But aside from my fellow shinobi, who out there would know of the scroll's true power, but it matters little now. We have the scroll, and I must return it to its rightful home in my village. Afraid I can't let you do that, friend. I promised the Krakens I'd bring the scroll back for him, and I'll not have it said that Jack ain't a man of his wids. After all, the scroll's been missing from your village for 20-odd summers. No, clearly no one's suffering much. That's hardly the issue, Captain Jack. The scroll is an ancient treasure. It belongs in Doma. It belongs to those what found it, and that's the Krakens. Gods, if you ain't a stubborn bastard. Gentlemen, must you make such a scene? After all, strictly speaking, the scroll belongs to neither of you. Karasu, wherever did you... But never mind. Thank you for guiding us here. You may rest assured that the scroll will safely return to Doma. You have my gratitude. Oh, Obero, my dear, sweet, deluded Obero, you grew ever dimmer by the day. Do you truly believe that I do what I do for you? I did say that I was pulling all the strings in this little puppet play, did I not? Very well. Allow me to put it in words even you can understand. The scroll belongs in Hingashi, to the master I now serve. My mistake was in entrusting to Zakuro and her lackeys what I should have seen to myself from the very start. Oh well, live and learn, I suppose. In any event, allow me to propose a simple transaction. You hand over the scroll and I return your friends to you with their heads still attached to their bodies. A fair trade, no? Karasu, you craven. On second thought, ha ha ha. Yes, I do believe we could have even more fun. Keep your eyes and ears out, dim one. You'll be hearing from me again soon. Toban disappeared. Curse it all, and here I believe the man had turned over a new leaf after leaving Kakai. But no, it would seem he has simply found another villain to serve. Once a rook, always a rook, I reckon. And a sharp one at that. Underfoot and Astray aren't the types to get boned so easily. As long as we have the scroll, Karasu is not like to cause our friends any harm, and yet he is as unpredictable an adversary as they come. We must proceed with caution. Forgive me, Zilly, would you mind... It would mean much to me if you would remain in Kugane until our work here is through. Pray continue to train in your ninjutsu, and I shall call upon you again when the time is right. Level 65, a game of life and death. Obero glances impatiently about him as if waiting for a tardy guest. Ah, it is good to see you, Zilly. I have heard nothing from Karasu since we last met. It would seem we have no choice but to take matters into our own hand. And yet in our current state we are outmanned. In hopes of bolstering our ranks, I reached out to Princess Yuki, pride of the Yatsurugi clan. Her skills and knowledge of these lands would surely avail us in our effort, I thought. I am pleased to say that she was more than happy to lend her aid, doubtless in no small part due to your own efforts on her behalf. Judging from her words, she is quite eager to prove herself, perhaps a bit over-eager. I would ask that you keep an eye on her, lest she go running off into some sort of trouble. Which mayhaps she already has, as she should have arrived hours ago. Perhaps she has simply gotten lost on the way, or stopped off for sushi and tea. Might the two of you be so kind as to search for her in my stead, Captain Jack? See if she is not in the Rakuza district, and Zilly search the markets of Kugane Dori. I will remain here in case she has simply been delayed in her journey. I don't think I can get to the front there from here. I think I have to go to this one. Like a gate. Someone? Yuki! Hey, whatever are you doing here in Kugane? Not that I'm complaining, of course. I'm always happy to see the shinobi who helped bring prosperity back to my homeland. Yes, thanks to you, my people are doing wonderfully. The only downside of it is that now I have to be a proper princess again. Akage, he's my personal bodyguard now, you see. He was none too happy when I told him I'd be heading to Kugane. In fact, Yuki, Princess Yuki, come back at once. Oh hells, he's on to me. I just have to help you and Oboro in return for everything you did for me. Surely you understand. Can you go find Akage and just tell him that? I don't know. That I hopped on a ship to Eorzea or something. Let's go lie to the servant. Really fancy meeting you here. You're an awful long way from home, eh? Speaking of which, you haven't by chance seen Her Highness anywhere, have you? I caught her sneaking out of the castle and followed her here to Kugane, but I seem to have lost her. Eorzea, you say? Gods, what is the girl thinking? If anything happened to her, I'd never hear. But there's no time to lose. To the docks. Princess Yuki, wait for me. Princess Yuki. He might have been helpful. Thank you, Zillion. Pray forgive me for asking you to lie on my behalf. I had half a mind to tell Akage the truth, but then he might have offered to help, Kami forbid. Man means well, but I hear that we face the most dangerous foe, and I simply didn't have the heart to place good Akage in danger. You understand, don't you? In any event, I do believe we've kept Oboro long enough. God bless. Thank you for leading Her Highness here, Zilly. Princess Yuki, thank you for making the journey to Kugane. Before we proceed, I would hear aught you might know of recent events in Hingashi. As you doubtless know, though Hingashi appears to outsiders to be a land of peace, beneath the surface rival warlords are ever scheming to undermine each other's power. In that sense, it is entirely within the realm of possibility that one of them has employed a shinobi to gain a hidden advantage over his foes. This is merely speculation. Try as I might, I was unable to uncover any tangible evidence as to who might be behind these recent events. I see, thank you, Princess, and so it remains a mystery. What foul master does that treacherous crow serve? Now, dim one, is that any way to talk about a dear old friend? Karasu, you have some gall to call yourself my friend. What have you done with Tsubame and the others? But what's this? The dim one is joined by one new companion after the next. Our hero is wounded. Was his friendship not enough? Why are the geniuses of the world so misunderstood? Anyhow, I was hoping you'd ask. As a matter of fact, I have just a present for you. It's a game. I like to call it Kill or Watch Your Friends Be Killed. Do you like the name? I thought of it myself just now. The rules are really quite simple. Your precious Swallow and the others are being held captive by the Garnet League on the Isle of Beko. You simply need to march in, cut down Zakuro and her men, and free your companions from their shackles. Succeed, and I'll forget about the scroll, and you can all go marching happily back to Doma. Fail, and I get the scroll, and Zakuro bathes in your blood tonight. Ha 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 ha. Yes, I do believe there's something in it for everyone. I'll be watching from the shadows. Do try to keep me entertained, won't you? Ah, does his villainy know no bounds? I'm not keen on agreeing to those terms, but it don't seem we've much choice in the matter. The fight he wants, it's a fight he'll get. Together we can take those Garnet curs. What do you say, Zilly? Forgive me, my friends. If only I had been quicker to unravel Karasu's schemes, I would not have placed you in danger like this. Still, it heartens me to know you stand with us. Same holds true for me, lass. While I'm not proud we let that rook get the better of us, I feel a lot safer knowing a dimber damber like yourself is on our side. Let's get Underfoot and Vikebe out of there right quick like. Ever since the elders told me my presence was not needed in the village, I have struggled to find meaning in my daily existence. For whom do I fight? For what greater purpose? Now I have found an answer. It is for you, my friends, you who have stood beside me in the darkest of times. You who have shown me that there is strength inside me that even I had long forgotten. You who... This is no time for prittle-prattle, lad, or haven't you noticed the princess has already hopped the twig? Dust off your beater cases and let's move. Man speaks true. Yes, we must be strong of both body and mind if we hope to prevail. The Isle of Becca, where our friends await us. Be quicker to just teleport to Tamamizu, or maybe the Ruby Sea. Go to Tamamizu. Okay. Yeah, I'm starting to get the hang of where everything's at. I was getting Zeki and Becco confused quite often. Similarly named. Little to my surprise, it would seem Karasu has alerted our foe to our presence. Let us proceed with caution. There is no telling what manner of treachery the crow has in store for us. Duty calls. Commence battle for a game of life and death. Level sync is in effect. You are above maximum allowed level. Will be synced as follows. Level 67. Proceed. Free blade last, at least until we know our friends are safe. Stealth mission. Kebe, quickly now, make short work of the sentries and free her. Thanks, you didn't bring a bite to Yafalon, did you? The shadows again, friends. Master Underfoot must be around here somewhere. You don't actually use hide much in like regular play. You use trick attack, but you don't use hide. Use it sometimes for like bait bosses or whatever. Something smells so familiar. Did I say I'd stay out of this fight? Oops, I lied. Blast it off. Pray for your treachery, Karasu. I will handle these foes. Keep to the shadows. Yeah, it wouldn't let me attack him, so. I guess I'm supposed to attack him anyways? Okay. Well, he said not to. I suppose there's no point in hiding no more. Underfoot, no. Is it Vicabi or is it 5 Cabby? Are you half of Crossroom Tina? Tia? Thank you kindly, friends. His ropes are something fierce. Where's Subame? Subame! You've got more courage and sense to come this far. If we fought on the same side, I could see myself getting to like you, but we serve another master, and he just so happens to be a demanding one. Don't give me that look. We've all got to make a living, and this is the best way we know how. Now draw your blades. Akuro bathed in your lifeblood this day. He's a samurai. Saved underfoot. He's back it up. Blades are whirling through the air, blood watering the field, shinobi fighting side by side, all for the sake of their dear friends. Could there be more moving sight? Our hero is moved to tears. Or not? Do not worry, as promised I'll return your precious swallow with nary a feather out of place, once you hand over the scroll, of course. What foolery is this, Karasu? We played your little game and we won, did we not? Are you not a man of your word? Oh, my poor stupid Obero, how dim can one man get? Didn't anyone ever tell you that promises are made to be broken, especially mine? Ha 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 ha. Now hand over the scroll, and quickly now. I don't particularly enjoy killing my dear friends, but that's never stopped me before. Obero, the scroll! I can take him. Very good, dim one. Yes, I dare say you've played your role to perfection. Fly away home, little swallow. We've had enough fun for the day. Ouch. Incompetent fools, a lot of you. How long do you intend to keep me waiting for what is rightfully mine? Lord Hanzo, you couldn't have come at a better time. You'll be happy to know I have just what you've been looking for. Behold. Our hero has truly outdone himself this time. At long last, the ancient secrets of Hengen Ninjutsu will be his. Do tell me, Lord Hanzo, when will training begin? The Lord Hanzo? Aye. He hasn't learned log yet, has he? Silence, whelp, the bastard. Get out of Sasuke, the shame. Deserve naught but a quick death. Bastard, get of Sasuke, the shamed. Well, well, a brood of doman dogs who would call themselves shinobi. You stand before Hanzo the Hidden, 12th Lord of the Kagekakushi clan. And you should consider yourself fortunate that I do not cut you down where you stand. And you would call your petty tricks ninjutsu. I spit on your ninjutsu. Your very existence brings dishonor to every true shinobi who has ever lived. Yet those of my clan, the original and true practitioners of the art. Yeah. What? Be thankful that I have more important matters to attend to today. Enjoy what little remains of your miserable lives. Your time will come, and before you know it. Forgive me, my friends. Pray, give me a moment to take in all we just saw. I do not know where to even start. Karasu, killed before our very eyes, the forbidden mudra in the hands of this Hanzo who claims to hail from the clan who founded our art, and who harbors a grudge against Master Sasuke, and in turn us, for reasons I can scarce begin to understand. Though it may be a small comfort, we can take heart in one matter. In truth, the scroll Hanzo now holds is but one half of the whole. Alone it is all but worthless. The other half is tucked safely away in our village, far from Hanzo's peering eye. It is a secret known only to the elders, entrusted to me by the old hermit before I took my leave. Is that so? I would have appreciated if someone could have shared that knowledge with me as well. The old hermit always did like you better for some reason. Still, I do not expect this Hanzo to give up easily. Whatever the true nature of the grudge he holds against the founder of our village, it seems to nigh border on obsession. Our adversary claims to hail from the Kagekakushi clan. Princess Yuki, you are familiar with the name? If I remember the histories correctly, they achieved great renown for their exploits in battle during the Age of Strife. It was said that a single Kagekakushi fought with strength and skill of 1,000 lesser shinobi. Till one day when a vengeful warlord razed their village to the ground, slaughtering even wives and babes. Kagekakushi on the battlefield, too, disappeared one after the next, an inglorious end by any measure. If this Hanzo is truly a descendant of the clan, it would stand to reason that he would seek revenge against those who betrayed his ancestors, but how this is connected to Sasuke, I cannot say. There's one thing I know, it's that I'm not going to just stand by while this Hanzo plunges our nation into another age of war. I will return home and see if there is any more knowledge of the Kagekakushi to be had. Thank you, Princess. We are counting on you. For our part, we should return to Yangsha. Once Hanzo realizes that he only possesses half of the knowledge he seeks, he is like to turn an eye to our village. We must warn the elders. If it's all the same, I reckon I'll join you. I'm not keen on showing my face and limbs until I've got the goods I came for in my daddles. That said, someone needs to see to it that all's Bob back at home. Underfoot, Gabby, can I count on you to keep things in order till I've seen to business here? Aye, aye, Captain. Consider it done. Just hurry back, will you? I'll make sure there's a Bismarck special with your name on it. Bugger me if this journey hasn't been one surprise after the next, and something tells me the best is yet to come. You'll be joining us, won't you, Zilly, for old time's sake? Cannot thank you enough, friend. The journey to Yangsha is a long one. After we arrive, let us rest up in the village of Namai. I long awaited homecoming for the first time since I left in pursuit of Karasu. Karasu, have you truly left this world for good? Of course he's not dead. Of course he's not. Okay, go to Namai. It's a long one. Oboro has seemed quite pensive since arriving here in Namai. It would seem that his homecoming weighs heavily on his mind. Tsubami and I will first make the journey to the village alone. Forgive me, but the elders are not like to smile on the sudden arrival of outsiders. We will report on all that we saw in Hingashi and gather what wisdom we can. Pray wait for us here. We will return as soon as we are able. I do not ask for a hero's welcome, but I suppose there is no putting it off any longer. Seems we're on our own for the time being. Reckon I can find some Bennett Bingo and a couple of rum doxies in this place. Just having a bit of an Wait, what with this Hanzo on the prowl? Best we keep both our stabbers sharpened. Level 68, True Enlightenment. Jack wears an expression of mild concern. Zilly Oboro got back not long ago, mumbled something about his trip to the village was uneventful, then dragged his beater cases off somewhere or another, looking at the ground all the while. Jack knows how to read a cove, and something tells me the boy ain't right these days, like he's carrying the weight of the world on his shoulders. You know the lad better than anyone. You reckon there's somewhere he'd run off to if he were looking to clear his head? Mayhap he returned to his village, his hideout in Eorzea, no doubt. Is there a waterfall in these parts by chance? Waterfall, now that you mention it, I did hear the sound of running water when I went on a stroll the other day. Not quite sure I whittle you, but if that's where you think the lad is, like it's not, you're right. Let's go see if we can't ease his cares a bit. Training under the waterfall. Zillia had hoped to spend some more time alone with my thoughts, but it is just as well. It grows cold, and I would warm myself by a fire. You know me all too well, Zillia. I suppose I should not be surprised. Well, you shocked the living wits out of me. I was expecting to find you in front of the waterfall, not in it. First, I did just that, Captain Jack, but when listening to the flowing water did not calm my heart as I hoped, I took the next logical course of action. I cannot explain it. I returned to my village fully expecting to be punished for my deception and chastised for my failure to perform my duty. Instead, I was greeted as a hero, the honorable shinobi who slew the villainous Karasu, traitor to our village and country. But it is all a lie. Master Gekkai was the traitor, and were it not for Karasu putting aside the foul deeds he performed in service to his final master, my eyes would have been forever blind to the truth. That day I promised Karasu that I would keep the truth hidden and claim the glory and accolades in his stead. At the time I thought nothing of it. But it is just too much. Perhaps the man deserved to die for his sins. It is not for me to judge. But does he deserve to go to the grave as a hated villain while I reap the fruits of deeds I can scarcely call my own? You really are too serious for your own good, lad. Let old Jack tell you a story. Oh no. Once upon a time, well, maybe not so long ago, there was a Denver mort by the name of Malala, a captain of the Yellow Jackets, who was always more style than substance, if you whittle me. Long story short, Zilly and me did ourselves a good deed, but the lass took the credit for herself. Did a part of me resent it? Sure, I've got feelings as any other cove, but people in our business, including this Karasu Rook, I reckon, need people like her, people to stand in the lightmans and claim the glory while we ply our trade in the dark. Malala might not have done the deed, but since then they say she's a new woman, doing all she can to be the hero that people believe her to be. Not so many wids, I guess. What I'm saying is, rather than clouting yourself in the new knob about glory you feel you don't deserve, why not try to live up to the person your friends would have you be? Thank you, Captain Jack. I must admit I had never thought of it that way. Obero, aye, forgive me, I have readied the falcon as you requested. Shall we pay Master Kamui a visit? Allow me to explain, my friend. Since returning here, I have been researching the history of our village, in particular the life of our forefather, Master Sasuke, in hopes of better understanding our foe and the grudge he bears. Tales say that Master Sasuke came to Dome on a mission so secret no records of it were ever left. Our elders, too, were at a loss. If any possessed knowledge of such ancient happenings, they said it would be the old hermit. That is what we call Master Kamui, an elder who retired from his post long ago and now spends his days in meditation at Plum Spring, pondering the meaning of existence to depths ordinary minds can scarce comprehend. As my student, you too are an heir to Master Sasuke's legacy. I would ask that you accompany me to Plum Spring, that together we may learn the truth about the father of our art. Will you do this? Excellent. Plum Spring is not far from here, but we cannot travel there on land. Tsubame was kind enough to summon the falconer. Let us return to Namai. I'm no shinobi, and I wouldn't know this Sasuke from a hole in the ground, but I'm coming with you, for no other reason than I'm dying for a change of scenery. Good a reason as any, I suppose, right? Master Kamui rarely accepts visitors, but the elders have assured me he awaits our arrival. Do not ask me why, but they say he is particularly interested in seeing you, Tsubame. In any event, Plum Spring is but a short and pleasant flight away. When you are ready to depart, pray speak to the falconer over there. Ride the falcon to Plum Spring. Yes. Oh, okay, I think we've flown here before. We were unlocking the map. Okay, Obaru. Obaru. This is the esteemed Master Kamui. I can scarcely wait to hear what words of enlightenment he would share with us. Give me an old pervert. 1,000 apologies for the intrusion, Master Kamui. It is I, Oboro. I have come seeking knowledge of Master Sasuke and the founding of our village. If it would not be an imposition, pray share with us your great wisdom. Obo who? I don't know any Obo. My back. Every word I speak is a dagger in me. No, this won't do at all. I'll be needing my medicine, the usual, that is. Liver of a Yangtze tiger, horn of a rhino beetle, claw of a doman weasel. Yes, that always does the trick. Guess I simply cannot carry on a conversation in such pain, so be on your way, boys. You stay here, my little swallow, and keep an old man company. For every word being a dagger in him, he sure likes his prattling. Oboro, where have I heard that name before? Enlightenment my arse, this old coot's a real piece of work. Oboro, ah yes, the dim little boy could never quite match the wits and skills of his friend Karasu. Yes, that is I. It is my honor to bring you the medicine you seek, master. Forgive me, friend, but it seems we have little choice but to indulge the master. Between the three of us, hopefully it will not prove too trying a task. Let us return to Namai. Playing errand boy for Master Kamui. What a splendid turn of events. In any event, let us split up and make short work of this. I will hunt down a Yangtze tiger. Captain Jack, pray see to the rhino beetle horn. If I would entrust the doman weasel claw to you, my apologies for troubling you with such menial tasks, but I fear Master Kamui is nothing if not stubborn. In any event, let us return here when we have found what he seeks. Guess we're going to kill some things. They're on my hunt mark. Landmark list. Doman weasels, they're like the Myocyds, right? Like the anteater looking things. Yeah. These things. At least I didn't have to kill like a bunch of them. Was it when we were doing MSQ and the Kojin? I was like supposed to kill 3 or something, and I ended up having to kill like 10 or 15 of them just to get the 3 drops. That would be fine in a side quest, but like in main scenario, like if I gotta kill 3, make me kill 3. If I gotta kill 10, make me kill 10. Ah, Zilly, I trust you were able to procure a weasel claw. Thank you, friend. I am pleased to report that Captain Jack and I were also successful in our hunts. Let us return to Plum Spring and hope that Master Kamui is feeling more talkative. If it's all the same to you lads, I'll be staying here, thank you kindly. I'm like as not to give that old coot a clout in the knob, and reckon your elders wouldn't take kindly to that. Guess he didn't like the change of scenery as much, huh? Is it just me, or does Master Kamui seem rather spry given his condition? No matter, let us give the man what he asked for. Oh, my favorite medicine never fails to put a spring in an old man's step. Master Kamui, we have not begun to boil the... Forgive me, what I mean to say is, it warms my heart to see you well. Ahem. So it was Sasuke's secret mission you wished to hear of. My boy, let me see what I remember. It was oh so long ago. Once upon a time in Hingashi, in the time they called the Age of Strife, there lived a man named Hanzo the First, leader of the Kagukagashi clan. He crafted a summoning mudra of terrifying power. Many a warlord did covet this power, that they might wield it to unify the warring states under their rule. Hanzo would hear nothing of it, and time and again he turned down prestigious posts and untold riches, declaring that the Mudra would be used only in defense, recorded his knowledge on a single scroll and sealed it away far from the eyes of man. Sometime later, a vagabond came to Kagukakashi. After the villagers nursed him back to health, he explained that he had fled across the sea from the land of Doma to escape the reign of a tyrant. So it was that Hanzo I, moved deeply by the traveler's story, called upon Sasuke, his most trusted protege, to carry the forbidden knowledge across the Ruby Sea and bring freedom to the people of Doma. Sasuke wielded the power but once. Such was its power. In a matter of moments, the tyrant's army crumbled before its might, and the Doman people at last knew freedom. But Sasuke felt that his job was not yet done. He resolved to remain in Doma and established a village here that he might train his new countrymen to carry on his legacy and pass down the art of ninjutsu to future generations. That is the untold story of our village's origins. As for the forbidden Mudra by whose power Doma's freedom was won, who can say why our ancestors feared it so? All that we know is that he was not content to merely seal the scroll away, but took his blade in hand and sliced it clean in two. One piece was presented as an offering to the king of Doma in celebration of the nation's newfound freedom. The other he sealed away in his village, our village, never again to see the light of day. I suspected as much. Master Sasuke was no traitor or deserter, but a shinobi of honor. Even at the time, it is said that Hanzo I told none other of Sasuke's true mission, though unfortunate it is little surprise today, centuries later, his descendants see Sasuke as little more than a traitor who stole away with their greatest treasure and fled to the foreign land. Thank you, Master Kamui. This has proved more enlightening beyond my wildest hopes. Glad to hear it, boy, but I don't think I'll take kindly to you interrupting my blissful enlightenment again. As for you, my little swallow, you're welcome to come back anytime. Sorry to interrupt your lecherous brittle prattle, but the princess here has got news to share, and I'm afraid it ain't a good variety. Oboro, we must move quickly. Our men afield have reported that the Kagukakashi clan musters their forces in full and means to march on Doma. No doubt Hanzo has figured out where the other half of the scroll lies. There is no time to lose. We must return at once and prepare to defend the village. Tsubame has gone to deliver the news to the elders. Meanwhile, Princess Yuki makes for the Ruby Sea to look out for Kagukakashi's army approach. We know not the size of our foe's army, nor their strength, only that both are formidable, and then some suffice it to say, we will be tested as never before in what time we have. I implore you to devote yourself to your training as if our very lives depended on it, for they surely do. And we're almost done. Ooh. Level 70, when clans collide. Oboro is trembling with excitement and trepidation. It is time, Zilly. The army of the Kage Kageshi clan marches on Yangzhe even as we speak. Princess Yuki keeps watch from afar, and she says their numbers are legion. We must gather our brothers and sisters of the village and make toward the Ruby Sea to meet them head on. There's one thing, however, that does not sit well with me. As Princess Yuki tells it, there is no sign of Lord Hanzo among the advancing army. Though we met only once, he does not strike me as a man who would stay home and let others fight his battles. He is surely plotting something, but what? Have you any idea, Zilly? He comes from the steppe. He would strike at our blind spot. But of course, he means to circle around and cross over to Yangsha by way of the Azim steppe, catching us from behind. Yet our foe vastly outnumbers us. We simply cannot afford to spread our forces thinner than they already are. If Hanzo means to sneak through the back door undetected, like as not, he comes alone. I would trust the defense of the steppe to you. Go in safety, friend, and may the Kami smile on us today. Can't speak for you, but getting caught between two squabbling ninja clans wasn't high on my to-do list today. Still, we're on this ship together, so might as well see the voyage through to the end. I reckon if that Hanzo shows up, grab his half the scroll for me, will ya? big mountain in the way. I can't just fly nowhere. Both monk and samurai are in Olda. They'll probably end up over here for samurai and probably in Girabanya for monk, but duty calls. Commence battle for when clans collide. If you are above the maximum allowed level, it will be synced as follows. Level 70. Proceed. Pardon me, my girl. I seem to have lost my way. Could you show an old man to Plum Spring? Heh. Clearly you're not as stupid as your friends, but it is too late. The scroll has returned to the hand of its rightful owner, and everything proceeds according to my plan. As expected, Doman Ninjutsu was a sad sight to behold, where Sasuke's story gets struggled to wield 3 mudra, the Jonin of Kagukakashi command 4 with ease. Bunshin no Jutsu, so we call it in the Hinkin tongue, mirrors and mirrors of mirrors. In a matter of moments, my few loyal men appeared from afar to be a legion. With all but a few abandoning the village to meet the challenge of my army, it was simple enough to put on the guise of an old man and walk out with what was rightfully mine. That is the difference between a true shinobi and the Doman Horsons who dishonor our name with their very existence. But the dishonor ends today. At long last I shall wipe the earth of the sons of Sasuke the Shamed, and the thief who stole my great ancestors' knowledge and consigned our proud clan to ruin. I should not waste my time with false shinobi such as you, and yet there is a sharpness and edge in your technique that your Doman friends lack. Yes, you should make a fine test for my newfound powers. Come, great beast, Hanzo the Hidden, descendant of your first master, bids you come. You're gonna eat him? Thumpity thump thump, thumpity thump thump. Dread beast. What? What is the meaning of this? So fearsome, their floppy ears, so terrifying, their sharply protruding teeth. The audience gasp in horror. You, I killed you. I thought you sharper than that, my friend. There was some resemblance around my eyes, I'll admit, but the real me is so much more handsome. The lordling is dumbfounded, so stubbornly proud was he of his precious 4th mudra. Never in a million years did it occur to him that my master Gekkai had mastered the same technique he imparted to me. Oh, and if those lovely little creatures thumping about you didn't give it away, the scroll in your hand is quite fake. I couldn't very well let forbidden knowledge fall into the wrong hands, now could I? Though you only succeeded in killing my mirror, you did try to kill me. I really didn't appreciate that. My poor little chick, you always end up doing the dirty work, don't you? But worry not, for this time at your side stands not Oboro the Dim or some 2 Gil rogues, but the most stylishly lethal shinobi this realm has ever seen. What say we cut this self-important sop down to size? You dare mock me? Your every breath brings shame to the ancestors of our art. My ancestors, you will pay for your insolence. Come. You don't even have shiny blades. I cannot fail to the likes of you. You've come far, my little chick. I dare say you could teach the dim one a lesson or two. Spare Obero the details. I have a reputation to uphold, after all, but it was rather exhilarating to fight on the same side for once. We really should do it again sometime. Till we meet again, exit our hero, stage right. What's this you say? Karasu still lives? Ah, I knew the slippery bird had another trick up his sleeves. All's well that ends well, eh? Seems that Karasu fellow was a right bend cove after all. Reckon you're lucky to have a friend like him. Lucky? For all the trouble he put us through, I would sooner have 1,000 arch enemies. You'll be pleased to know we made short work of the Kagukakashi army. As soon as we realized it was mostly smoke and mirrors, it weren't long before we milled what was left of them. We could not have done it without you, Zilly. You are a savior of our village. I thank you from the bottom of my heart. Saved your whole country. We can rest easy knowing that half the Forbidden Scroll is safely back in our hands, but the half Karasu gave to Hansu is that the Isle of Beko was a fake, that means. Curse it all, that confounded crow. My duty is clear. I must pursue Karasu and recover the scroll. Tsubume, pray and tell the elders that I will be returning to Eorzea for the foreseeable future. Do not mention Karasu's name. Remember, the official story is that the traitor is long since dead. Don't worry, Obero. I will see that the elders leave you alone, as I always do. Sharpened up a bit, haven't you, lad? Now, if you don't mind, I'll be taking the false scroll back with me to Limsa. If even that Hanzo couldn't whittle the difference, old Korvalan and the Krakens aren't like to know any better. Zilly, Obero, it was my honor to lend my blade to your cause. I wish I could have cut down a few more of Hanzo's henchmen, but oh well, I suppose one can't have it all. Now I must return home to Hells. I've forgotten Nakagi. The poor fool's probably tearing the realm upside down looking for me. I must be off, friends. The Mort keeps you on your toes, I'll give her that. And with that, I'd best be moving my dew beaters as well. I too shall take my leave, my friends. It was ever an honor to fight by your side. If you're not in a hurry to return to your adventures, I would have a word with you. Pray meet me at the storehouse upon your return to Lenosha. Wine port it is. Made it back right quick. Ah, Zilly, thank you for coming. I've been reflecting on recent events and contemplating what it means to walk the path of a shinobi. I know you to be the contemplative sort as well, so I would share with you my thoughts. When I first came to Eorzea, I thought only of fulfilling the duty entrusted to me by my elders. It would be no exaggeration to say it was my sole purpose in life. Meeting you, learning the truth of Master Gekkai from Karasu, these experiences changed me. In the end, I forsook my duties in favor of following my own heart. I faced my old master in combat and slew him for his treachery. Even after that, I remained here in Eorzea to follow my own sense of duty, but even though I believed in the path I had chosen, in my heart of hearts, part of me was unsure. Is my true home not my village? Is my true duty not to be brothers and sisters I left behind? I pondered time and again the story of Master Sasuke, told by the old hermit, and at long last it is clear to me. Master Sasuke could have returned home after freeing the people of Doma from the tyrant's reign. In fact, one could say it was his duty to do so. Instead, he chose to remain there and founded the village where I was raised. This was not his duty, at the very least, not a duty tasked to him by his master, Hanzo I, but rather a cause he took up of his own accord. In this sense, I cannot blame the descendants of the Kagu Kakashi from viewing him as little more than a dishonorable renegade worthy of scorn. Nevertheless, Master Sasuke was willing to forsake his legacy and the recognition of his people to follow a path that he truly believed in. I have no intention of abandoning my village entirely, but I too would follow in my ancestors' footsteps, in my own humble way. The first mission that I have given myself is to track down Karasu and bring the stolen scroll back to the village where it belongs. He is ever an elusive bird, and the task will not be easy, but I welcome the challenge. But forgive me, I have rambled on enough. You have proven yourself to be a true shinobi, and more than that, a true friend. I look forward to the day when we can stand together once more. Level 70 when clans collide, complete. Fighting alongside your friends has opened your mind to new ninjutsu techniques. This concludes the ninja quest for Final Fantasy XIV Stormblood. In order to undertake the next series of quests, you must first meet the following requirements. Final Fantasy XIV Shadowbringers must be registered to your service account. You must have completed the main scenario quest, Shadowbringers. You must have completed the role quest, Courage Born of Fear. Once you have done so, the next ninja quest will be available from Oboro.